Welcome to RollForTuraco. This is Frank. This video is going to be a little different, a little backstory. I belong to a speech club, the Toastmasters International. My local club is very local. It's literally right down the street, not across the street, it's right down the street. I've been a member of the Toastmasters International since October 1st, 2022. And I also attend other clubs within the area. Last week, yes, was it last week? The the week that I had the game at the library with my kids. 2 days later, I gave a speech about that, about doing that at one of the other local clubs. And I was able to video record part of it. Unfortunately, my phone was filled up and I forgot to empty it out because I'll take a lot of video, a lot of pictures, and then I'll just delete the ones I don't need. So I forgot to do that day. So I only got half of that speech recorded. But that half is up on my vlog channel, Salazar Nation, and I'm gonna link that video in the description. But I did record, audio recorded some critiques that I got, so I included those in that video. Now I redid that speech today, and this time I recorded the whole speech, but it's audio only. There is an image that I use, and that's the image. It's gonna show up right after I finish doing this little intro. That video, that speech is going to be on that channel as well, without this part of the video. But yeah, it's a speech about bonding with my kids, playing Dungeons and Dragons, or a version of Dungeons and Dragons with my kids, and I titled it "Fulfilling Your Role." So without further ado, here is my speech. The game master cries out, "Roll for initiative!" and sounds of dice hitting the table echo throughout the room. Ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters, this weekend I had the opportunity to host a Dungeons and Dragons game in our local library. And you may hear Dungeons and Dragons and you think, wow, is that something demonic? Is that something evil? Well, it's a game where you use a set of rules, and I used the basic fantasy role-playing rules, and you make up a story. You make up an adventure. And the way this began was last year, my son called me, and we're talking about his current trip that he would be taking to come down here and spend time with me. And he said, "Dad, can we play Dungeons and Dragons?" And it so happened that at that time, I had been doing research because I wanted to learn how to play it, what it is that you have to do, because I heard many things involving Dungeons and Dragons that is evil, that is demonic, that you're raising spirits. And once I did my research, I realized you're using your imagination, you're creating a story, you're using dice to help you beat an opponent or gain treasure, whatever it is that the game master designs in his game. And we played a beginner version of Dungeons and Dragons at my home. My son created his character, an elf magic user named Eggnog. Eggnog something, I forget his last name. But he created that character. My daughter created her character. I created different characters because I was now the game master, and my duty as game master is to fill a whole bunch of roles. I was the narrator, the storyteller. I was the one deciding what monster to use, what NPC, that's a non player character. So I'm also using different voices and playing different characters. And I'm also the accountant for the game because I have to keep track of who gets what loot, who gets what treasure, what money, what magic item. And I had bought some props, some metal coins that I could use as representation for money or hero points. And when my kids were here last year, we played that game. There was an adventure that I had found online. It was a box that I bought, and it had a whole lot of things. Had character sheets. So I taught them how to do their character sheets, and the way you do them is you roll some dice, and those dice determine your ability points, your strength, uh, your wisdom, and all those things they carry into your character. So it was a lot of learning these new things, and it was a lot of creativity. So that's what I really liked. This year, when they came down again, I was asking at the library, here at the library, if they have a Dungeons and Dragons club that maybe we could join. And it turned out they didn't, but they're always looking for things that can bring in people. And they pretty much said, if you want one, you have to start one. So I fulfilled that role by starting a very makeshift club that for now it's just my children, but if it brings in more people, that would be great for the library, and I can fulfill the role as being a creative and telling stories with everyone around me. This past weekend we had our first game, and it was myself and my three children. But I heard that people were interested, so I'm going to do it again next year. For this game, what I did was I looked into finding an adventure that I thought would be simple and basic, because if you see something like this, these are rules and mechanics of the game, and that can be very intimidating. I found that this version of Dungeons Dragons Basic Fantasy has a lighter rule set that you can use, and I printed that out. And this is less intimidating. I really only needed maybe about 4 or 5 sheets of this. And that was our very simple adventure, where I found another adventure online where it was the pirate ships, and that's where this pirate money would come in handy. I just didn't get these in time. But I had my maps, I had all my equipment, I had my players, and we had a good time. We played for 2 hours. The library provided snacks, so they funded my family time. And my daughter Donna, she loved it because she ate all the candy. She ate all the milk duds. I turn around and she's got milk duds in her face. That's good, Dad. My sons are fighting over what magic items they want. They're fighting about what spell to use. They're having a good time. And during that time where I'm fulfilling my role as a game master, I'm fulfilling my role as a storyteller, I'm also fulfilling my role as a father. My children aren't here all the time. They visit from Corpus Christi, Texas. So this was a time to have family time with them where we're bonding over something that I was already interested in, trying to find out what it is, My son saw this on a TV show and he wanted to learn what it is, and all he did was ask. Sometimes these family times they just come from someone asking, can we do something new? Can you do something else? And that's what happened. And we're going to do it again before they leave. And the library has asked me to do it one more time, see if more people come. So it's a new adventure in so many ways, not just the adventure on your table, but the adventure for me to bring that to people and teach them. Now, what's your initiative? Will you take the initiative to do something new for your family, for your friends, whether it's starting a game night, whether it's joining a speech club, whether it's trying new food? What will you do with your family time, ladies and gentlemen? That was my speech, Fulfilling Your Role. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. This has been Frank Salazar with Roll for Turaco. See you next time.